What is going on YouTube? It is Quick Snoopy, and today I am bringing you a Dota 2 guide on how to win the mid lane. Playing in the middle lane can be one of the most difficult positions in Dota because it requires a lot of multitasking, awareness, and communication. As a mid lane player, you are in charge of setting the tempo and pace for your team. The decisions you make early on in the game will also affect the outcome, so it is important to communicate ganks with your team or request a gank if you need one. At the start of every game, you get gold, and what you do with this gold is very important. You're going to almost always want to buy regeneration items, whether it's a Tango, Healing Salve, or Fairy Fire. This is because it is important to stay in the lane as long as possible and gather experience. If you need to, think about items that might help you last hit, and I'll go over that in just a minute. You have your starting items, but you decide to get the bounty rune at the beginning of the game. What should you do after that? You should always try to creep block to help control the creeps and get the enemy creeps on your side of the river. Watch as I do this. I'm not perfect by any means, and it takes a lot of practice to creep block, but you simply need to walk in front of them and it will slow down the wave of creeps. What this does is it will make it more difficult for the enemy to last hit, especially if your creeps are on your side of the hill on the river, because they have a missed chance, which means they are less likely to last hit the creep. You are also less likely to get ganked because of how close you are to your tower, and it gives you an early advantage in the game. I'm not going to say you should never auto attack, but what I will say is that it is very important to last hit and deny, which means your goal is to get the last hit and kill the enemy creep. This gives you gold. Denying the friendly creeps means that you deny and get the last hit on your own creep. This prevents the enemy player from getting as much experience as he would as if you didn't deny him, and it also prevents the enemy from getting gold. It sounds really simple, but it's not that easy. I would recommend last hitting against bots, or ask your friend if he wants to 1v1 in a middle lane against you. There's a lot of decision making that goes into this. You have to ask yourself, is it worth trading hits against an enemy player if you might miss out on a few last hits? You have to balance out last hits, denying, attacking the enemy hero, while watching your minimap to make sure you are not going to get ganked. Think about this. Do you have a bottle? Does the enemy player have a bottle? Are you going to contest the rune? Are you going to leave your lane in order to get a rune? Is it worth leaving the lane to get a rune? What if there are wards there? That kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So you have to really analyze the game. If you're pushing up into the enemy's lane, if you're auto attacking, if your creeps are on the enemy's side of the river, it might be worth it to go for the rune, or it might be worth it to go to your jungle and might try to jungle a little bit. Those are decisions you have to make throughout the game, and they will determine the outcome. I'm going to quickly point out right now, there are two enemy ranged creeps below the hill, and there are two friendly ranged creeps on top of the hill right now. This is important to understand, and I might be getting a little bit more advanced or a little bit more in depth, and this could be confusing if you are new to Dota, but it is very important to understand, especially at higher levels of Dota. The ranged creeps do more damage, and the ranged creeps also give more experience. That is why it is so important to deny your friendly ranged creeps, and you want to secure the experience or get the kill on the enemy ranged creeps, because again, it gives more experience, and the experience is important, especially when you're in the middle lane, because you're going to want as much experience as possible. It's the solo XP. You have to level up. And when you get more in depth into Dota, you're going to understand that these heroes have a time frame, they have a time window. At a certain level, they become really powerful than other heroes. And those are typically the times you want to go for kills, you want to go for ganks. It's kind of like a power spike. Like certain heroes do better at certain levels than other heroes, if that makes any sense. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about creeps alone, because I could talk about denying creeps and getting last hits for hours. But if you are looking to move the enemy's creeps on your side of the river, you can also right click the enemy hero, not attacking him, but just right click, and you'll actually get aggro, or you will make the enemy creeps aggressive towards you and they will attack you. From this point, you actually want to move back. The laning phase is really important in Dota, and some players will actually, whenever they creep block, they will actually try to get the friendly range creep in front of the melee creep. The reason they do this is because they want the enemy creeps to attack your friendly range creep. And remember how I said your range creep does more damage? Well, if your friendly range creep dies, then therefore your creep equilibrium is going to be closer towards you, meaning that you will not push the lane up as far. So if you're looking at trying to get the enemy creeps on your side of the river, there are a few things you can do. The first thing is going to be try and have your friendly range creep die as soon as possible, because it does a lot of damage and you want that to die, therefore the creeps will be on your side of the river. Or you can also attack the enemy hero and get aggro and then walk back, and those are a few ways you can actually pull the creep waves towards you. Now there are a few good ideas when it comes to pushing a lane. Sometimes you want to push a lane, like right now I'm pushing this lane and Sniper will not be able to go after a rune if a rune was there. Sniper would have to choose, does he want to stay under tower and get the XP, or does he want to go for the rune? Dota can be a very complex game, and we talked about the starting items, creep blocking, last hitting, denying, creep equilibrium, and understanding the different types of ranged and melee creeps. A few things I want to talk to you guys about real quick before I end this video is the definition of creep equilibrium. Some people are kind of confused by it. The creep equilibrium is the movement of the creep wave, or the meeting point in the lane. Any situation which results in creeps dying faster on one side than the other will cause the creep wave to move closer towards that side of the tower. So hopefully, I guess that's like a definition that might help you guys out. And there are also a few other things I did want to mention as well. And those are the shrines. You always want to keep in mind the shrines if you're looking for regen. I mentioned the healing salves as well, and the starting items. The shrine will help out a lot. You can also use a courier bottle, and you can send the courier and the bottle back with you. And those are really few tips that I feel like this would really help you out. If I could summarize this video into a few short words, it would be creep equilibrium, last hitting and denying, communication with your team, and just having map awareness. There are a few other things that will help you out as well, such as wards, but if you practice last hitting and denying, it is guaranteed that you will be a better player and you will raise your MMR. I really hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Maybe even tell a friend if he's looking to possibly play Dota and he needs help in the mid lane. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Isn't easy to show with the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know I told you it's the best light I know. It's not a game that I am playing. My love, trying to hold my feet.